So a very warm welcome to everybody this morning. Lovely to be here with you all. Hope you're warm enough. Um, it is really cold today, so please do use extra layers and get what you need to allow yourself to be comfortable. We're going to start off this morning's practice in a reclining position. So if you're comfortable to lie on your back, please do. If you also feel comfortable to maybe have your knees bent and your feet upon the floor, then you could do that as well. So for some people, when they come along their back, this position, which is called semi-supine, you might find that bringing the knees together and taking the feet a little bit wider can help. Sometimes if you've got a little bit of a tight lower back, or maybe just letting the knees, the hips and the feet kind of be more or less in alignment with each other can work better for some bodies as well. So just finding what feels right for you. If you want to put anything underneath the back of the head, I would encourage you to do that. And then if it feels okay for you, I'll just lightly rest your hands on or around your abdominal area. If you struggle to maybe reach the hands onto the abdomen and the elbows aren't touching the floor, then you could just separate the hands away from each other and just allowing those elbows to be on the floor. Just so we take as much effort away from the upper body, the arms, the shoulders, and the upper back. Now you might find just naturally your eyes want to close. You might find naturally your eyes want to stay open at this point. So just allowing yourself to just be comfortable with how you've chosen to have your eyes. And then allowing yourself just to connect with that sensation of touch between your hands and what's beneath your hand. So the fabric of your clothing, I'd like you to just take a few moments just to allow yourself just to scan around your body. Just notice anywhere it's a mindful of or what you may need to pay attention towards through this practice. Then allowing that to be in your mind and in your awareness at this time. Noting how you are feeling energetically this morning. Maybe this getting towards the end of the week. It's been quite busy for you. Maybe you're feeling quite tired. Maybe the thought of the weekend gives you a little bit of energy or life. Maybe you notice the difference between how your body's feeling and how your mind may be energetically at this time. And what I'd like you to begin to do is just allow your attention to move to your breath. And as you breathe in, I'd like you to direct your breath in the direction of the hands placed at the abdomen. As you breathe out, just allowing that abdominal area to gently soften and for the breath to release. You could breathe through the nose, through the mouth, through a combination of both of those things. So just allowing the breath to come and go, being directed down towards the lower part of the lungs. So we end up doing a breath which is called diaphragmatic breath. So we're activating the diaphragm with the in-breath and the out-breath. And by doing this, we increase the amount of oxygen that we bring into the lungs and into the body. It also helps to calm and slow us down. As we begin to get used to breathing in that diaphragmatic way, I'd like you to now become aware of the lengths of your in-breath and the lengths of your out-breath. And I'd like you to see if you can allow the length of the in and the out-breath to be equal. So this type of breathing is known as sama vritti. Sama, a Sanskrit word for kind of matching or being the same. Vritti relating to kind of the softening of the fluctuations of our breath. So I know when I start to do this, my natural sort of pattern is maybe a 4-second in breath and a 4-second out breath. It might be yours is longer or shorter. So I want you to just find your balanced breath today. We're going to keep the hands where they are just for a moment. But what I'd like you to begin to do is just start to become aware of your pelvis. And I want you to see if you can allow yourself to move your pelvis as you breathe. So as you inhale, I want you to just lightly push your tailbone into the floor. This will cause a little bit of an arch in your lower back. As you exhale, I want you to tilt the pelvis towards you, almost as though you're flattening the curve of your lower back, and you're slightly lifting the cheeks of the bottom off of the floor. So then we move back to pushing the tailbone down, creating that slight arch as we in-breath, and as we out-breath, simply lifting the glutes off of the floor. So this is known as a pelvic tilt, and we're doing this with our breath, if possible. So this is kind of a overexertion or over sort of extension of what our body naturally does. Each time we breathe in and breathe out, legs a little bit wider, knees together, you might find just shuffling your feet back, and you might find that movement gets a little bit easier by having the feet in alignment with the knees and the hips. So see if you can stay with your same balanced breath, and you're balancing the movement that you're making with the breath. So I'd like you to come to a neutral position now. So somewhere between those 2 points. Just go back to your, just for the back of your legs. So you're going to bend your knees and draw your legs in towards your body. Tuck your fingertips either between the calves and the back of the thighs, or hold the front of your knees, whatever feels most comfortable for you. So before we start to do any movement again, I want you to just reconnect with your breath again. So your in breath and your out breath. Going back to balancing the in breath and balancing the out breath. Then what we're going to do is just move the arms as we move the arms. So as you inhale, straighten your arms and let your legs move away from you. As you exhale, bend your elbows and squeeze your thighs in towards your abdomen. So as you inhale, you straighten the arms and the thighs will move away from the abdomen. As you exhale, bend in the elbows and squeeze in the thighs in towards the abdomen. So I want you to do this a few times with the breath, just getting used to that movement. Slight extension of the movement that we were doing previously, those pelvic tilts. So just once or twice more. Think about that squeeze in action of the abdomen. Almost as though you're kind of squeezing the out breath out of the body. Come back to a neutral position, so somewhere between where the arms were completely straight and the arms were bent. Go back to your breath again. Release your arms, so palms are going to come down by your side. What I'd like you to do here is we're going to isolate each ceiling, and as we exhale and bring the leg back to the body. Swap to the left side, so as we inhale, we extend the left leg up. Exhale, bend that left knee. Go back to the right side, and then swap to the left side. So again, just getting used to that movement. Just repeating that once more on each side. That's quite bent and do. So this is putting just a little bit more pressure through the abdominal area, activating the core muscles. Now what we're going to do is alternate between the right leg and left arm. So if possible, you're going to take the left arm all the way over the crown of the head as you stretch that right leg away. Exhale, bring everything back to the center. This time, left leg, right arm. So you inhale, stretch up, stretch over, come back to center. See if you can coordinate movement and length of breath. Just exploring that, see how that feels. As you're extending the alternate arm and leg, see if you can stretch them away a little bit further. See how that feels to extend through the back of each hamstring, back of each leg, through each shoulder. Let's repeat one more on each side. Fantastic, brilliant. I want you to plant your feet back onto the floor. Just take a moment here. If you need to maybe lift your hips up a little bit, sometimes you just need to have a little bit of a tilt of the pelvis backwards and forwards. We're just finding a neutral position. You might even want to bring the hands back onto the abdomen again. I want you to just take a few breaths here, just reconnecting with the flow. Thinking about balance, the in breath and the out breath again. Maybe that breath pattern starting to get a little bit. You might actually find that the breath is allowing you maybe a little bit longer, or maybe it goes a bit shorter. So we're going to start to move in and out of a bridge position. So the first thing we need to do is remove anything from the back of our head. So if you've got a blanket or cushion, push it away or pop it to the side. Our feet want to be relatively close towards our bottom. Feet want to be roughly hip distance apart. And then we want to rest our arms down by their sides, palms flat down. So before we start to move, we're going to start to connect with our breath. So going back to our balanced breath. And then the sequence that we're going to do is we're going to take an inhalation to prepare. As we exhale, we're going to push our feet into the floor and lift the hips up to the sky. We're going to inhale, stay in our lifted bridge position. Exhale as you lower yourself back down. So inhale prepares us. Exhale as you push the feet into the floor, lifting those hips to the sky. Inhale to stay in that bridge position. Exhale to float the hips back down. So again, a couple more times, just in your own way, with your own breath, lifting as high as feels comfortable and appropriate for you. Okay, so what we're going to do here now is we're going to start to come into lifting into the bridge using that same breathing pattern, but we're also going to lift one arm over the top of the head as well. So we inhale to start. As we exhale, right arm lifts up and you lift the hips off the floor. Inhale to stay. Exhale, lower the right arm down, bring the hips back down. Swap to the left side. The inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift into the bridge, lifting the left arm over the crown. Inhale to stay. Exhale, lower left arm, hips back down. So again, I'm going to give you a few moments just to play with that idea. When your arm is lifted and you're taking your inhalation, you might even want to push the hips a bit higher, stretch through that side of the body. Just playing around a little bit with this. See how that feels. Through the lower body. This movement of the arms is helping with stretching through the upper body. It really helps with this left and right, because if you do notice yourself wandering away, that's perfectly okay. Just come back when you're ready. So make this the last time you do a round. There'd be no rush to complete that. And when you feel ready, just hug your legs back up in towards yourself, taking hold of shins, on the back of the thighs. Maybe you want to stay with that breath pattern. Maybe you want to fall out of that breath pattern for a moment. Maybe it feels quite nice to do some circles around on the lower back. So just exploring how that feels. Fantastic. And then what I'd like you to do is, from this position, is roll yourself onto your left hand side. So keep the knees relatively close towards your body. So you're in a little fetal position with your legs. You might want to grab your blanket or your cushion and just pop it under the left side of your head. We're going to stretch our arms ahead of ourselves. So our hands are resting on top of each other. when you feel ready, what I'd like you to do is draw your right arm up to the ceiling. Follow those fingertips as you take the arm back behind you, if you can manage. And then exhale, closing that right hand back onto the left hand. We're going to inhale to open, taking that wingspan as wide as we can out towards the opposite side, and exhale as we close. So as you're doing this, I want you to see if you can roll with your head. So let your head roll as you continue to follow those right fingers and thumbs. Just to bring us into a twist. If you feel like that twist is compromising your back, a couple of things you can do is squeeze the knees and the thighs together. You can pop something between the knees and the thighs. Now, some of you might find as you go, that can help to take that right shoulder back a little bit further. So I want you to come into that position one more time, take it in that right arm all the way back, and then pause. So you're looking in the right direction. So you're looking in towards your right shoulder. Again, you might bend your elbow quite a lot. You might have space to be able to stretch that right arm all the way out to the right side. For just a couple of breaths here. Staying in our breathing pattern if you can do. Just softening through the body as much as you're able to here. And then when you feel ready, we're going to close that right arm back onto the left arm. I want you to hug your arms in towards your body. So lift your head up and maybe even tuck your hands or fingers underneath the left side of your head. So you're almost kind of just resting upon the hands. And then what I'd like you to do is focus your attention upon your right nostril. And I'd like you to just think about breathing in through your right nostril and breathing out through your right nostril. Breathing in through the right nostril. Breathing out through the right nostril. So if you are struggling with any respiratory conditions today, maybe a bit, always breathe through the mouth. But by lying on our left side, we're just activating that right hand side of the body a little bit with this right nostril breathing. And the right side of ourselves is said to be our side relating to our more energizing, uplifting, our fiery side relating to the sun. So when you feel ready, what I'd like you to do is lift yourself away from your hands. We're going to see if we can bring ourselves up to 4-point kneeling, but I want you to face the back end of your mat because we're going to turn onto the other side in a moment, but we're just going to come into a 4-point kneeling position. So wrists roughly underneath the shoulders, knees roughly underneath the hips, and let's just think about arching our back. We saw a beautiful cat in the studio this morning. I was making friends with everyone. So just arching our back like that cat that was in the studio. And then do the opposite. So begin to just think about lifting the chest, lifting the tail, lifting the eyes, and then round in the back again towards the ceiling, bringing the chin down, maybe pushing the hands and the knees into the floor, and then coming back out of that. So you're lifting the chest and the tail, the eye. Then see if you can come back to that coordination of your breath and movement. So you might find as you come into an upright position, your breath might feel different. You might want to extend or decrease the length of your balanced breath in some way. So just noticing how that feels to move through the back in that way. Come to a neutral position with your back. If it feels okay for you, I want you to take your bottom back towards your heels. Just see how that feels to just begin to take a bit of the weight back onto the feet. That doesn't feel right, come back up into that 4-point kneeling position, but we're just gently stretching through the back. Go back to your balanced breath again. And then when you feel ready, bring yourself back up to your 4-point kneeling position. Walk your hands slightly forward. And then what I'd like you to do is just push your hips slightly forward. So you're going to come into a gentle back bend. So we're not bringing the hips down onto the floor, but we might want to look ahead. Just see how that feels in the back. Push yourself back up to 4-point kneeling again. Walk the hands back more underneath your shoulders. And then a really useful thing to do here is maybe pop a blanket or cushion or something for your head. And then we're going to bring ourselves to lie upon our right hand side. So again, bringing those knees up so you're in that fetal type position with the legs, stretching your right arm along the floor and then placing your left hand on top of it. Connecting with your breath just for a moment while you let the body settle. And then when you feel ready with your in-breath, you're going to float your left arm up and follow those fingertips with your eyes, coming back behind you. And as you exhale, you're going to close that left hand onto the right. So I want you to just move in and out of that a few times, just moving gently, slowly with the body, with the breath. Just exploring how that feels to start to come into that twisted position from this sideline position. So we're just exploring gentle movement, really allowing ourselves to work with the connective tissue of the body. So particularly around the waist there, around the rib, shoulders and the hips. That connective tissue can get really tight sometimes. So I want you to come into that position where we're twisting, looking back to our left hands. And again, you might want to bend that elbow a little bit more. You might want to bring the hand a bit closer towards you. And just observing and noticing how that feels in that open position. Going back to the connection with your breath. Balancing your breath as much as possible. And then when you feel ready, you're going to bring that left hand onto the right hand. And exactly the same as what we did on the other side, just bring the elbows and the hands closer towards you. You might even want to just rest your head upon your hands. And then I want you to focus on your breath through your left nostril. So in through your left nostril and out through the left nostril. So this isolating of the nostrils is really going to help us because we're going to come into some breathing practices a little bit later that are going to be focused on our left and right nostrils, and just getting used to that idea can be a really nice way to just set the scene for ourselves. So when you feel ready, I'd like you to just gently push yourself up. We're going to come into a seated position for a moment. So I want you to just grab something you can sit upon. So maybe a block or a cushion, blanket or something. Bring your feet together. Knees are going to be wide out to the side. If you're near a wall, you might even want to turn. You might want to turn this way instead. So we're going to do some side stretching. Bit of a challenge if you're near the wall. So feet are together, knees are going to be wide. So we're going to take our right hand onto the floor. Left hand, as we inhale, we're going to float it up to the ceiling, but stretch it all the way over the top of our heads if we can do. As we inhale, we're going to come back to our center. As we exhale, we're going to lean over towards the other side. So inhale to come back to the center. Exhale, stretch through the side body. So just go on repeating that a few more times on your own. So we're starting to work through this lateral side of the body a little bit more. Also by this formation of the way that we've placed our legs and our feet, we're just gently helping to stretch us. Yeah, and just see if you can coordinate breath, movement. Left arm is overhead. I want you to just pause there. What we're going to do here is as we inhale, we're going to bend our left elbow and draw it back by our side. And as we exhale, we're going to shoot that arm over the top of our head. So we're going to inhale as we bend and draw that elbow back. Exhale as you extend it over. Just a couple more times. So this extension and flexion of the shoulder joint, really, really useful way to help to just free up a little bit of mobility. One more time. Fantastic. We're going to come out, just come up to sit just for a moment. I want you to cross your arms across your chest, drop your chin towards your chest and just round your upper back. So you're just sort of dropping into the chest a little bit. So we've got this sense of just kind of the weight going down. Breathing into that upper part of the back. Let the head completely go if you're able to. Then when you feel ready, we're going to lift ourselves back up. We're going to come to the opposite side. So left hand's going to come onto the floor. Right arm, you're going to project it over the top of your head. Then when you feel ready, as you inhale, you're going to draw that elbow back. As you exhale, extend that right arm overhead. So inhale to draw back. Exhale to extend overhead. Just a couple more. Just back to our seated position. I'm going to suggest come out of this position and maybe cross the feet or cross the ankles. Maybe you want to bring the feet onto the floor instead. But we're going to bring our arms back behind us now, squeezing our shoulder blades together. I want you to project your chest up towards the ceiling and look up to the sky. So we're not throwing the head back, but we're just kind of letting our gaze look up to the ceiling. Think about breathing into this front part of the chest. They're quite different to where we were breathing down towards that lower diaphragmatic abdominal area. But see if you can stay with a rhythm with your breath, but your pattern might have changed. There's one more breath in and one more breath out. Fantastic. Releasing yourselves. Just give the shoulders a little shake. We're going to come into a downward dog position. So what I'd like you to do, just whatever you're sitting on, just pop it to one side. Bring your hands so they're going to be just a little bit wider than your shoulders. Knees and feet are roughly hip distance apart. If it feels okay for you, tuck your toes under, push into the balls of your feet and push back towards your heels. If downward dog doesn't feel right for you, what you could do instead is come against the wall, hands on the wall, and you can stretch back. So this will take all the pressure off of your feet. Also, it's a really useful way of doing downward dog for those maybe that don't want to invert themselves. So there could be lots of reasons not to want to invert yourselves. Could be to do with blood pressure, could be to do with just a sense of pressure through the head. Sometimes just taking the pressure off the back or off the upper body or lower body. So if you're in downward dog on the floor, what I'd like you to do is walk your hands towards your feet. If you're against the wall, just start to push yourself up to stand. So for those that are hanging over their legs, I want you to slowly start to roll yourself up. We're bringing ourselves up to any position. Fantastic. So just check how your feet are. Feet want to be roughly hip distance apart. Arms are just going to rest down by our sides for a moment. Stand up tall from the feet all the way up through to the crowns of your head. As we inhale, what I'd like you to do is float your arms out to the side and if possible, lift up onto your toes. As you exhale, you're going to bring the arms down in front of you, but bend your knees and drop your bottom down, bringing your heels to the floor. So if you can, inhale to lift up, lift onto the tips of the toes, reach up to the sky. As you exhale, bend the knees, bring the heels down and sweep the arms towards the earth. So you inhale as you lift up. Exhale as you flow down. Couples. It's really useful to look ahead. Helps with the balance. Couple more times. So the next time you come down, if it feels okay, lift them up a bit higher. Sink a little bit lower if you can. And do. Squeeze the thighs together. Draw the navel. Sink it lower still. Do another breath in. Sink lower still. Have a smile on your face. One more breath. Sink lower. Inhale, come up to stand. Fantastic. Well done. Just take a moment. Just shake everything off. If you are facing the thin edge of your mat, come and turn so you're facing long edge of your mat now. Separate your feet. So you're going to take your feet as wide as you're able to take them. Then find your right leg. You're going to turn your right foot so it faces towards the thin edge of your mat. Your left foot is either going to be parallel with the back of your mat or turn your foot slightly inwards. You're going to bend your right knee and then bring your arms up at shoulder height and turn your gaze and look towards the tip of your right middle finger. So as we inhale, we're going to straighten our right leg, bring the arms up to the sky and look up to the ceiling. As we exhale, turn the palms down and float back into your warrior two position. So inhale as we float up, look up, straighten that front leg. Exhale as you float back down. Couple more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. Okay. As you come into this position, which is called warrior two, you're going to bend your right elbow and bring your right elbow onto your right thigh. Left arm, you're going to stretch it up to the ceiling If you can, stretch it all the way over the crown of your head. Think about getting the left side of your body as long as you can possibly get it. So push the outside edge of your left foot into the floor. Think about breathing into the left-hand side of your rib cage. One more breath in and one more breath out. Bring that left arm back onto the left side of the body. Push into your right elbow and draw yourself all the way back up. Fantastic. We're going to turn our right foot in, turn our left foot outwards. So we've got exactly the same position. Bend that left knee. Float your arms out at shoulder height. This time we're going to turn our palms upwards. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to reverse the breathing pattern. Okay, this is going to play with our heads a little bit. So you're not going to move, but you're going to breathe in here. You're going to, hang on a minute. I need to get it right myself. So we inhale as we draw the arms overhead. Inhale, take the arms up. My brain can't cope today. Exhale to flow back out. Sometimes we just need to admit that. So remember, this pattern can also be done. Taking the arms overhead feels too much. You can always bring the hands to the chest rather than taking them overhead. One more time. Fantastic. Turn the palms down. Bend your left elbow. Plant it upon your left thigh. Right arm, stretch it up. If you want to take it over the top of your head, then do. Push into the outside edge of that right foot. Lift your right side of your waist as high towards the ceiling as you can manage. Breathe into that right side of the body, stretching through that right side of the waist. One more breath in and one more breath out. Bring that right arm back onto the right side. Push into your left elbow. Draw yourself all the way back up. Fantastic. Turn your feet so they're facing towards the long edge of your mat. And then heel and toe your feet all the way in. Keep walking them all the way in so they touch. Squeeze your thighs together. Push your feet as tall as you can from the feet all the way up through to your crown of head. Bring the hands onto your hips. Let's raise our right leg. So you're going to bend your right leg and bring it out in front of you. Knee, the thigh, you might hold the front of the leg. If you need to go to a wall, then do. Stand tall through that left leg all the way up to the crown of your head. Okay, let's see how it feels to stretch out our left arm out to the side. This might help. Let's see if we're feeling brave and if we can take the right knee out to the right thigh. You're going to take it over with that right hand. Let's play with our heads a little bit more and look towards your left hand if you can. So turn your head and look towards your left hand. Wobbling is allowed. Feet going on the floor is all allowed as well. Brilliant. Fantastic. Bring everything back to center. Release both feet onto the floor. Have a little sigh. Okay, so come back. Feet together, legs together. Stand tall. Hands on your hips just to help to balance. Go back to your balance breath. Focus on something ahead of you. So we're just going to add stages now. So you're going to lift that left leg. See if you can hold the left leg. You might just stay here. If you wish, right arm out to the side. Again, try and stay focused. Focus with the breath. Next stage is to take that left knee out to the left hand side. Final stage is to turn your gaze and maybe look towards your right hand or finger. Fantastic, everyone. Come back to center. Very well done. Release. Give everything a little shake. No more balances, don't worry. We are going to come towards the back end of our mats. As we come to the back end, of course, please do. Yvonne, I'm going to suggest do this on your back rather than on your toes, okay? So what we're going to do here is turn our feet a little bit wider. We're going to lift up onto our toes and then see if we can bring ourselves down into a squatting position. So there's a few ways of getting here. For some people, you might want to put something underneath the back of your heels. So for some people, they find having their heels supported can take quite a lot of pressure off of the knees and off of the ankles. Some people like to bring their feet onto the floor. So we would normally sort of come a balanced hand onto the floor, or again, if your hands don't reach the floor, bring them onto something ahead of you. So we're just going to lean in, bringing the chin towards the chair. Just helping ourselves, just kind of let gravity kind of take the body as much as possible. You might even find you can walk your hands forwards a little bit more, bringing a bit more weight into the toes, dropping the head even more. And then when you feel ready, what I'd like you to do is walk forwards with the hands and bring the knees onto the earth. Take a bolster, cushion, or you might just be able to sit back onto your heels. But I want you to come back into this position, which is called hero pose or Virasana. So from this position, and this position, if it really doesn't feel comfortable for you, please feel free to swap it to a cross-legged position instead. So what I'd like you to do here is just think about sitting tall from your, so actually, first of all, let's just think about, you know, when we were doing that pelvic tilt, I want you to just go back and just go back into that pelvic tilting again and with the breath. So if you think about as we inhale, we're almost sort of tilting our body and the pelvis slightly forwards. And as we exhale, it's as though we're dropping our tailbone down. So inhale tilts us forwards, exhale tilts us back. So once you get used to that movement, just let it get a little bit more subtler and maybe allow it to start to just get used to happening with your breath. So we're just pelvic tilting, exactly how we was before we've gone, but in a sitting position rather than the lying position. Feel free to sit differently if you don't want to sit like this. So then what I'd like you to do is just allow yourself to just find that neutral position again. So we're not tilting forwards, we're not tilting back, we're just finding that central point. And almost imagine that the spine of the body, so from the tailbone all the way through, all the way up to the crown of the head, is kind of in this nice sort of gentle, elongated shape. Bring your hands and rest them upon your abdominal area. And what I'd like you to do is just go back to thinking about your breath. But with your out breath, we're going to just start to introduce the sound ah. So we're going to kind of let that ah sound be reverberated from underneath our hand. So we're going to breathe in and just make an ah sound. Ah. Breathe in again. Ah. Ah. We're going to move our hands up to our chest area now. Just sort of below, actually, just below the chest, sort of the sternum. So right at the front of the rib cage is probably a better description, actually. So again, just allow yourself just to connect with your breath. And with our out breath, we're going to make an ooh sound. So we breathe in. Ooh. We're really allowing that sound to come from that chest area. Ooh. Ooh. We're going to join our hands together into our Manjali Mudra, so prayer position. Rest the thumbs at the eyebrow center. And we're going to make an sound. And imagine that sound is going from the throat all the way up to the eyebrow center. Mm. 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 And remove our hands away for a moment. Just let yourself sit within that vibration and that sound. Go back to your balanced breath again. Whatever formation, whatever pattern it's making. We're going to do a couple of rounds of alternate nostril breathing. So we're going to change dominant side to dominant side. So we're going to start off, okay, with using our right hand. We're going to bring our right hand up to our nostrils. Thumb is going to block your right nostril. Third finger is going to block your left nostril. So we're going to breathe in through both nostrils. Block your right, breathe out through your left. Breathe in through the left, block the left, breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right, block the right, breathe out through the left. Breathe in through the left, block the left, breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right, block the right, breathe out through the left. Take a pause there. Go back to breathing in your equal way. We're going to change the dominant nostril now, so we're going to start and end on the right side. So again, we're going to breathe in through both nostrils. Bring the hands up to the face. Block the left nostril. Breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right. Block the right. Breathe out through the left. Breathe in through the left. Block the left. Breathe out through the right. Breathe in through the right. Block the right. Breathe out through the left. Breathe in through the left. Block the left. Breathe out through the right. Remove the right hand away again. Go back to breathing freely. Paying a little bit more attention this time to the flow of the breath. So breathing from the nostrils to the eyebrow center. Then the eyebrow center. Back through the nostrils and beyond the nostril. Again, if possible, doing that in a balanced way with your breath. Going to do one more round, left side dominant. So breathe in through both nostrils. Block in the right nostril. Breathe out through the left. Breathe in through the left. Block the left. Breathe out the right. Breathe in through the right. Block the right. Breathe out the left. Breathe in the left. Block the left. Breathe out the right. Breathe in the right. Block the right. Breathe out the left. Remove the right hand away. And again, just going back to focus in the breath. From the nostrils up to the eyebrow center. And the eyebrow center through the nostril. See if you can allow the breath to get as gentle and as soft as you're able to. Really becoming aware of the subtlety of the breath. So I'm going to give you an option. You might want to stay where you are. You might now want to come and lie down in some way. So I want you to be comfortable and able to be wherever you've chosen to be for the next 10 minutes. Please ensure as well if you've got jumpers or socks to utilize those. Remember, you can lie on your back, you can lie on your sides, you can sit in a chair or lie on a bed, wherever feels comfortable for you. I'd like you to just take these few moments just to allow yourself to get as comfortable as you can allow yourself to be. So we've been focusing our attention on the direction of the breath towards the eyebrow center. I'd like you to just take a moment just to allow yourself to just kind of reconnect with that area at the eyebrow center. Softening that area of the eyebrow center. Maybe being aware of that energy known as prana within the yoga practice. Or you might visualize or feel or imagine a light shining at your eyebrow center. And I'd like you to move your attention to the center of your throat, allowing your attention to be directed towards the throat center, shining a light there. And then moving your awareness over to your right shoulder joint, shining your attention in that right shoulder joint. And then moving down to the right elbow joint, into the right wrist joint, then to the tip of your right thumb, the right first finger, second finger, third finger, your right little finger. Being aware of the tips of the right thumb and all of those fingers, and then moving your awareness back up to your right wrist, the right elbow, the right shoulder, then over to the center of the throat, and then moving your attention over to your left shoulder joint, shining your awareness there. Moving your attention to your left elbow joint, and to your left wrist joint, and to the tip of your left thumb, the left first finger, second finger, third finger, the left little finger. And awareness of the tip of your left thumb and all of those fingers. And then bringing the attention back to the left wrist, elbow, shoulder, back to the center of the throat. Moving your awareness down to the center of the sternum. And awareness over to the right side of the chest or breast, the left side of the chest or breast, and then back to the center of the sternum. Moving your awareness down to the center of the navel, to the center of the pelvis, to the tip of your tailbone, and then moving your awareness over to your right hip joint, to your right knee joint, your right ankle joint, to the tip of your right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, little toe, and awareness of the tips of all of those right toes. And then moving your attention back to the right ankle, the right knee, the right hip, to the center of the pelvis, and over to the left hip joint. So shining the light of your awareness into that left hip joint. And moving your attention to the left knee joint, the left ankle joint, to the tip of your left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, the left little toe. And awareness of the tips of all of your toes on the left side. And then moving your attention back to the left ankle, the left knee, the left hip, to the center of the pelvis, the navel center, the sternum center, the throat center, the eyebrow center. And allow your attention to raise to the top of your head. Have an awareness of all of those points that we've just touched upon. And allowing the light of your awareness to shine into every single one of those points. Almost as though the body is like a constellation of light or star. Every part of you is in your awareness and lit up at this time. Allowing the light of our awareness to fill every part of the body. Allowing that light to represent whatever it is that you feel would be most relevant for you at this time. Being filled with light, being filled with love, filled with healing. Maybe just creating some space within you is what you need. I'd like you to gently begin to keep the attention focused inwards, but begin to just let a little bit of movement happen through your body. If you're lying, I'm going to suggest you might want to roll to one side when you're ready and join us in a seat. If you've been sitting, you might just want to adjust or change the way that you have been sitting just for the last few moments of the practice. So bringing ourselves into an upright position. Again, thinking about that sense of length through the spine, from the tail, all the way up through to the crown. We're going to join our hands together into Amanjali Mudra. And I want you to just recall those three different sounds that we made, the ah, the oo, and the sounds. And we're going to put those sounds together now. So after the sound, I want you to just allow yourself to have a little bit of silence. And then we'll breathe in and repeat the pattern again. So we're going to do it 3 times. So let's breathe in together. And breathe out. And breathe in, ready to chant or listen. And close the practice with 3 shantis, such as shanti, shanti, shanti. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Just bowing your head towards your hands. Recognition of the care and the attention that we've shown to ourselves. The care and the attention that we've shown to each other. And the care and the attention that has been shared through these practices, connecting us to a community of yoga practitioners who are also thinking about the care and the attention of those that we come into contact with and our wider planet. So taking these attributes with you as you leave today, and allow that care and attention to be present in whatever you do through the rest of your day. Om Shanti. Thank you, everybody, for your time here today. Really nice to be here with you all. Lovely to share that practice with you. Thank you, everybody online as well. Really nice to share that with you.